Hi, in this very short video, I want to review how to design a thesis statement for paper number 2. And basically, we're just going to take a quick look at the rubric and a sample thesis because I think it's pretty straightforward, and then I'll review a few key reminder points. So this is the language from the rubric. This is the criteria. The thesis needs to answer 2 questions, which means this should be a 2-sentence thesis. 1 sentence answers, why do people in this career work? In other words, that's the reasons sentence, and the other is which GE outcome skills do they use? And that's the sentence where you're going to either take quoted language from the GE outcomes, which you can find on page 4 of your syllabus, or you're going to paraphrase some of those specific skills. But either way, you're using the exact skills and outcomes in Miracosta's general ed criteria. You'll notice the second element of the thesis is that you need to use active verbs. That's an important piece of the equation. So let's look at the sample. This is right off the rubric, but I just wanted to talk it through. You can see that the 2 key active verbs are work and need, but the thesis statements are also filled with other verb forms that give them real dynamism and energy. So the first sentence is our reason sentence, and it identifies 3 reasons: help others, advocate for social justice, and challenge themselves intellectually. You don't have to have 3 reasons for work, but I'd want you to have at least 2. The second sentence looks at skills from the general ed outcomes page, and I particularly chose critically evaluate information and sources and communicate logically in a wide range of contexts and forums, as well as the recognize how social systems shape. So notice the verbs recognize, evaluate, communicate. Notice how 2 of the quotes are, one of the GE skills is an exact quote. The other 2 are paraphrases. And so we see that we've got 2 sentences, one about reasons, one about skills. In this case, they each have 3, but you could just as easily go down to 2. Or you could have one that had 4 and the other had 2. Any mix is possible. In my experience, it's going to take about a combination of about 6 reasons and skills together to give you 6 body paragraphs. It's a good foundation for this essay. Again, a minimum of 2 reasons and 2 skills, though, is required. So what are the key points that we want to think about as we're working on our thesis statements? First of all, we want to remember that we're looking for 2 sentences, one about reasons and one about GE skills. We don't want to mix them. We don't want reasons and GE skills mixed in the same sentence. You get confusing structures that way. You want to mirror the order that they appear in the essay in the thesis. So you may be mixing your paragraphs. You may have one paragraph reasons, another GE skills, and et cetera, et cetera. But in your reason topic sentence, in your reason thesis, you list the reasons as they appear in the paper. In your GE skills thesis, you list the skills and the order they appear in the paper. Can't emphasize the active verbs enough and how important they are to making strong thesis statements, especially when you're doing this sort of 2-sentence thesis. And finally, a reminder, use quotations if you're using any of the exact language of the GE outcome. So I encourage you to view this PowerPoint a few times if you need to review key points, and if you want to take a look at that example thesis, you can slow down in the PowerPoint form and just dwell on it for a while and see if you can construct something for your paper that follows a similar structure. Reach out to me via email or text if you need some help. Email is a great way to run a thesis sentence by me and get some quick feedback. Even a text can do that. And I encourage you to run a thesis by me if you have any concerns about whether it works or not. All right, thanks a lot. I'll see you out in the course.